Hello, this is David Coreen with Davron, and joining me today for our webinar is our Director of Recruiting, Blake Coen. And we are going to talk about how to prepare for a successful interview and land the job of your dreams. Blake, there really is an art to having a successful interview, isn't there?
I believe so.
So some tried and true techniques here. Do the following before your interview.
So make sure you spend time and review the company website. Show your prospective employer you did your research.
Why is that important, Blake? Why do you want to go to a company's website? Why do you want to show your prospective employer you've done some kind of research on them? Can't you just go in there and wing it?
If you're really interested in joining their firm, you want to let them know you did your homework and looked into the projects that they work on, look into the product they provide, or whatever the case may be. But you really want to go in there and have a really good idea as to what the company is looking for and what they produce.
Blake, we get people coming in here all the time interviewing, whether it be for a data mining or a researcher or a recruiter position, administrative positions. And a standard question that you always ask, I usually ask, is have you looked at our company's website? And when they say no, it's almost a deal breaker for us, isn't it?
For sure. You give them that direction, and if they don't take you up, on your advice, then you could see, that as a red flag for the future, for sure.
If you don't know what kind of company you're interviewing at, what we do for a living, how we make our money, it really doesn't show that you're going to go the extra effort for our clients, because we review our clients' websites carefully as well as their job descriptions. Kind of leads me to the next point. Number 2, carefully review the job description as you read it. Think of how your skills apply to the position for which you're interviewing. Think of how you can hit the ground running. Be ready to verbalize it. I guess in the case of engineers and architects, it's particularly important, isn't it, Blake? Why is that?
It's important because you want to make sure that you're going in for a position that you can handle, that you have the qualifications for. Make sure that you line up regarding the software, the types of buildings that these guys are working on, or whatever it may be. But make sure that you can hit the ground running for this company, because in the end, that's what they're looking for, people that can come in, be productive. And if the job description doesn't match up to what you're capable of, it may not just be the right opportunity for you.
Exactly. But the flip side of it, if it is the right job opportunity, and I think that if you're an architect and they're looking for somebody who has done residential design or commercial design, or as an engineer, maybe you have worked on industrial facilities, and the job description calls for somebody that has that experience. Well, it's very important to be able to verbalize that you have that background and that skill, isn't it? Next thing is prepare a list of questions. Blake, talk to us a little bit about that.
So what you want to do to prepare for the interview is definitely get a couple questions that are important to you, jot them down, and bring them with you to the interview. Don't apologize for bringing a piece of paper with you, because in the end, asking those questions can make or break that interview. Remember, an interview is a two-way street. Questions from you not only show your engagement, but also show your interest. If the employer turns to you and asks you if you have any questions, and you say, I don't know, I don't have any, that can leave the wrong impression. And, I can tell you from our experience, it definitely, leaves you wondering if that person is really interested in the opportunity or not.
You don't have a single question to ask is the first thing that I think about when we talk about our company and we say, well, it's a two-way street. Do you have any questions for us? And no, I don't. Or, well, you've pretty much answered them all. Blake, the questions like work environment, expectations for performance, what makes somebody successful, technology, and we just talked about that, or software utilized. If you're an engineer, you know what Civil 3D is. Do you use Civil 3D? I am an expert in it. I did not see that in your job description if you are on the technical or engineering side. Company goals, direction questions, even benefit questions, all of them are on the table. All of them are fair game. Blake, what's next here? What do you think?
All right, so it's very important to know where you're going. Consider making the drive ahead of time if you're unfamiliar with the area. When you do arrive, make sure you do not arrive more than 10 minutes prior. Absolutely do not show up on the exact moment, or worse, even a minute late. You never know if you'll get a second chance to you never get a chance to make a first impression. Get a second chance to make a first impression is what I was trying to say there. And it does definitely reflect how the interview evolves from that point.
I think I messed that up, didn't I? I'm the one that messed up. I should have written a second chance, but that's why people tune in on here, so they can see me mess up and you correct me on some of these. But you're right. You never do get a second chance to make a first impression. And look, I mean, here's how I look at it. Android time is one thing, and then you got that Windows time, and then some of you have that iPhone time. So if your interview is for 3 p.m. and you think you're arriving at 3, but the guy interviewing you, his clock says 3:01 or worse 3:02, what does that say? It shows that you don't have respect. The flip side of it is this. You got a 3 o'clock interview and you come strolling in at 1:30, an hour and a half early. Well, that doesn't show much respect for either yourself or the person that's going to be interviewing you. So that's why it's important for you to kind of nail it a few minutes just beforehand, get your thoughts together. Maybe there's some paperwork the company has you fill out, and then you can hit the ground running, so to say. So if you smoke, don't do it before the interview. Avoid doing so. Take it from a previous smoker. They'll smell it on you, even though you don't think you smell like smoke. You do. Studies show that employers just don't like people who are smokers. They don't like hiring people who are smokers. Higher absenteeism rate, higher call-in rate, more breaks per hour you could shake a stick at. So just don't do it. Give them that surprise that you're a smoker after they give you the job. Sorry about that. Blake is laughing over here. If you like to use cologne or if you like to use perfume, don't do that either. We've had a time or two, and we've got a somewhat smaller interviewing office in here. I don't know if it's just not well ventilated or if you come in with lots and lots of foo-foo juice. It's going to offend somebody, so just avoid all of that in the first place.
And you never know who has allergies, and if you spark that out during an interview, guess what? They're going to push you out the door that much quicker. So another thing to definitely consider is dressing up for the interview. Studies have shown wearing professional attire, suit and tie for men, business suit for women, can have a significant impact on whether a potential candidate gets an offer. Studies have also shown it to have an impact on salary offered as well. So don't be afraid to dress, a little bit higher above the position that you're going for. A suit and tie never hurt nobody, and I can guarantee you it's going to increase your chances of getting that position.
Spoken like somebody that's been in the trenches for a long time right alongside with me. We know this, that when somebody puts on a suit and tie, we normally hear that from the employer saying, boy, did they look sharp, boy, did they really dress up. The flip side is we hear, boy, they came in a pair of shorts and flip-flops. So I think it shows a lot of respect. Studies show that simply dressing up as a man or woman, putting on a suit and tie, has a significant impact on whether you got an offer and then the amount of offer that you get. So just dress up. It's all good all around. So during the interview, what do you do there, Blake?
What you want to do is definitely sit straight, don't slouch, and maintain eye contact. Now, that includes everybody in the interview. If there's 3 people interviewing you, don't just stare at the one person. Make sure you spread that around, spread the love around, and let everybody know that you're interested.
Oftentimes, I find it bizarre when I ask the question and the person answering is answering to you, Blake, where I'm the one doing the questioning. So I think you gave a really good thought there. Spread the love around. Look everybody in the eye. And if you're not looking them in the eye and avoiding eye contact, it almost kind of looks like you got something to hide, doesn't it?
Yeah. If you want to avoid anything, try to avoid bad-mouthing previous employers as well as sharing negative job experiences.
Exactly. And first thing they think about, you start talking bad things about your previous guy, you're going to start talking bad things about me as well, especially if you and I part. So what should you do then, Blake?
Really just verbalize your strengths and how you can be an asset to the company. And also keep your answers brief, short, and to the point. And most importantly, David, what is it?
Smile. It comes across. Nobody wants to work with somebody who's negative, somebody who's got a furrowed brow. So smile. I mean, don't look like you're goofy or anything, smiling aimlessly. But at the same time, I think it comes across as you're more relaxed, flowing with the interviewer, the kind of person that other people want to work with. So what's last there during the interview, Blake?
You want to be sure to thank the interviewer or interviewees for their time at the end. Express your interest in the position if you are indeed looking forward to the next step. Thank them for taking the time to interview you. Tell them, hey, I think the interview, I think this is a great opportunity. I also think I can be an asset to your company, and I want to let you know I am interested. So that's a good way you can kind of just close things out, and hopefully you'll hear back from them in the next couple of days.
Exactly. And then the very final step, because really the interview isn't over the minute you walk out of that office or that building in the interview. What do you do next, Blake?
Do yourself a favor, make yourself stand out as a valid candidate and as a valuable prospect for the position by sending a thank you note. If
Thank you
you
goes a long way, doesn't it?
Yeah, if it's between you and another candidate and you send that thank you note and you're sincere and you let that company know why you feel the position's a good fit for you, guess what? You're 9 times out of 10 going to get that position over the other individual because you show the enthusiasm and the desire to join their team. Finally, if you do not hear back from them directly, follow up with the company directly yourself. If you don't get a response within 48 hours, it's probably a good idea to reach out and see where you're going to go as regarding the next step. And also, it expresses your interest again if they're still deciding on that next step for you.
If they see that you've added the extra touch of sending a thank you letter, and I can tell you that only a small percentage of people send a thank you letter. And if it's a tie between you and the other guy and you send a thank you letter, the other guy doesn't, well, you got the edge. And then also, as we often say, if you want to eat the fruit, well, then you got to shake the bush. Call them. If you don't hear from them, call them, express interest. And they'll take that as if you're going to fight that hard for your position, hopefully he's going to fight or she's going to fight that hard for us as well when they're an employee of whatever firm that you've interviewed at. So, for more details on best interview practices and other great tips on how to land the job of your dreams, please visit us at davron.net. Also, we've got this great new product. We've actually made giving people a seat on a platform that will allow you to search just like the professional headhunters at Davron. Pretty much find any company index, find out everybody that works at that company, get detailed information like direct contact emails, phone numbers. So it's a great way to stand out or just call us direct. We're here 10 to 5, Monday through Friday, 813-961-6632. So this is David Coreen. I'm the senior matchmaker over here at Davron, in the trenches with the warrior, Blake Coen, our director of recruiting. Thank you once again for joining us on another one of our webinars. Take care.